Renee Bravo was a strong virgin, nerdy, smelled good. The nerds will never be the same without him. It's tragic the way he went. But he'll never be a virgin in here. He'll always be having sex with that big old cloud in the sky.
What the hell, guys? I'm not dead. I'm right here. Like, standing right here.
You didn't return a text for like an hour.
I was quarantined!
Oh.
And you? What are you doing? Are you sleeping through my eulogy?
It was long.
Recording at 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California at Undercity Comics. Keeping Up with the Nerds presents issue 111. My name is Renee.
This is Brian.
And Nick.
Woo! And welcome to the show, everyone.
We're back in the studio.
Hey,
Dude, it's not sweaty as hell.
props to Renee for remembering the issue and not messing it up like we both did the last couple of times.
Dude,
You forget the number.
Dude, I always think it's a bit.
You're breaking the immersion.
forget.
I just kind of assumed it was a bit, and I just kept doing it. Also, I'm forgetful.
Now, I don't know
So
why.
it plays into it, it kind of works
I
as well.
think I was just looking at it and I just remembered, like, oh yeah, they did 110 and now 111. I was like,
Do you want to check the gains real quick before we go on and do some stuff? Is it all good?
Yeah.
Did you actually hear
okay,
what
it's all good.
what he titled the last one?
Can Ezra Miller stop?
No, not that.
What?
Where because you said it was issue 1010.
Oh, I said 1010. That's why. That's where I messed up.
oh.
Yeah.
I was like, how many? I go, which issue is it?
How far do we need to be to get to 110?
I know.
I
he
think
was-
we need to be around for like 20
10.
years.
10.
10. Issue
No, but
1010.
I just thought it was funny because I was like, wait, how many issues is this? And then he goes, what did I say?
You guys got into it last week. You guys, like, with the Dragon Ball Z talk and stuff like that.
You watched the podcast?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
No, of course he did.
watches this.
No, he
Before
got
we
Cliff
move
Notes.
on with Renee's updates on the whole situation as to why he was gone last week, don't forget, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, Keeping Up with the Nerds. Like and subscribe. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And if you guys are on the go, driving around, doing things where you guys can't be watching stuff on your phone, Nicholas, go check out our podcast on our audio platforms. You guys can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Check out our website, keepingupwiththenerd.com, and rate us 5 stars if you guys like what you guys heard here on the show. With that said, Renee, what the hell happened?
Well, quick story, I guess, is that everyone in my house got COVID. And my dad got it first from his new job. Thanks. And
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
And then slowly my sister got it. And then I was like, at that point, I was like, it's only a matter of time. Like, it's going to get me at some point. And then it got me on Monday. And I took a test. I went to, the pharmacy and they took a test and I got the results right on Tuesday, the next day. And it was like positive. I was like, dang. So I had to let Susan know. I had to let you guys know and stuff like that. So I had to quarantine for like a full week. I was stuck in my room for quite a while. For some reason, I was just watching a bunch of movies. I watched Contagion, and then I watched Outbreak, and then I watched Cabin Fever.
What a perfect trilogy of movies.
Yeah.
Stuck in quarantine,
And
right?
then I got sad that just watching those movies. I was like, okay, I gotta watch something else. I started watching Lost in Space on Netflix.
Also sad.
Pretty good show.
Uh-huh.
Not bad. And I think I was just trying to keep myself busy. I was like looking at models to buy on Amazon too.
Oh, okay.
You know what?
yeah.
If you would have had the Batman Lego set, you would have been set.
Oh yeah.
'Cause you could have done like a little bit every day.
I did get a Lego. Mandy did get me a Lego set. It was from Batman v Superman. It was the Batmobile scene when Batflick's Batmobile is going through and taking like the kryptonite from Lex Luthor and
okay.
stuff. So it's that set. I got it from.
How big is it?
It's not bad. The Batmobile is like maybe like that big. It's a pretty good size.
I'm glad you said models to build and not just. I was just checking out models on.
Oh yeah, let me do that.
you-
I did that on off time.
It helps with the recovery.
It does. Yeah.
So since you were gone last week,
Yes.
right? We talked about Prey, and you wanted to talk about Prey.
I did. I was actually really excited about it because it was a really good film. I liked it a lot. I think one of the things I liked about it, and I was like texting the group.
Dude,
chat.
I think you were the first one to text in the group. About it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
you
I-
wanted to talk about.
I
it.
wanted to talk about
I think I was the last one.
Well,
I was
Predator-
hardcore the last one to watch it.
Predator was one of my favorite Alien franchises, action horror that I like, and my favorite one is Predator 2 because I love that. I love seeing Predator go up
In New
against
York.
Danny Glover. You know,
So Predator takes Manhattan.
Predator takes Manhattan. But
It's Predator's day out.
and like I even like the bad ones. Like Predators is okay. Adrian Brody's awesome in that, and then The Predator done by Shane Black is meh. I don't like the CGI, but it still has an interesting story.
That's the one with Keegan. Isn't it?
Yeah, see,
yeah.
I like
Actually,
those-
I really like that one.
It was fun, but
I like that one.
It was just the CGI was a little shoddy, you could tell. But so when Prey came out, I was a little not skeptical. I was more of like, I wonder how they're gonna do it. You know, doing a Predator that came out in the 1700s and stuff.
It was it 1700?
1700s.
1700.
Yeah.
That's right. The French still had the land.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those
And
damn Frenchmen.
it was really, really well done.
Then they gave it away. And we were like, yeah, no, take that. That's fine.
Go ahead. Yeah.
This land is nothing. You want nothing here. Nothing there.
Look at this. Free.
And then we came and we were like, oh, why are there people living here?
Hey, get out of here. Go. Shoot.
And
That was our little history lesson.
And then nothing else bad happened. History over.
Just give it 100 years. So that was really good.
We gave them blankets.
stop, dude. Okay. The sound effect.
Oh my God, that was great.
It was what is that? The Legend of Zelda
Yeah,
ringtone?
because I had to change it because you were like, Stop with that ringtone from
the
Arkham Asylum."
It haunts me, dude. I'm
It
sorry.
haunts you.
So, what did you think of the overall movie?
I loved it. This Predator is my favorite designed Predator. I liked how low tech he is. He doesn't have the plasma cannon. He doesn't have a bomb on his wrist. It's very, very low tech. And people, I had some people ask me, they're like, how come he didn't have the plasma cannon? I was like, because you have to fight a xenomorph to get a plasma cannon.
What is that the actual lore?
That's from AVP.
Yeah, that's the lore. I did some digging and I saw that. And apparently throughout there's different tribes in the predator
Yes.
species and stuff like that.
There's like 4 tribes, isn't there?
One of them is that you have to have enough kills to go to Earth to fight off the xenomorphs and stuff like that. So this is what this predator
Wait, to
was
go
doing.
to Earth and fight a xenomorph?
Yeah, to get your plasma. It's a rite of passage.
But xenomorphs aren't on Earth, though.
No, but in AVP they are.
So this is my problem with AVP is that it really amplifies the lore of Predator.
Yeah.
But it's really stupid because it
yeah.
really messes up the lore of
'cause
Alien.
My
Yeah.
thing is that for this one, I always try to just say that AVP is its own universe.
Yes,
Its
because it is its own universe.
It's its own thing.
It is its own.
I
universe.
never really take AVP and AVP2 as like these are Predator like
They're
this is Predator
fun
lore.
movies. It's
Yeah.
Freddy versus Jason.
It's very much Freddy. Like this doesn't take place between any of the movies. It doesn't do anything like that. This is just a fun movie where people are going to die and predators are going to fight aliens.
That's what's
Basically.
great
That's
about the comic books now is that they've taken all that and mixed it well in the lore and
Okay,
stuff.
so because my thinking was that he was on his first hunt.
Yeah.
That was what I got from the
Yeah.
movie. He's on his first hunt because that's the reason why he doesn't have all the weapons.
Yeah.
And that's why he was like taking skulls, and that's why he was very bare.
Yeah.
Because if you look at a lot of other predators, they have trophies on their armor, where they have like skeletons, or they have like rib cages on them.
he was but a wee lad
Yeah, and he was
joining
building.
his first expedition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why he was making so many mistakes because if you notice, like aged predators, like the one that Arnie fights, he didn't really take a whole lot of damage. Like not until the final battle did he really like start taking a whole bunch of damage.
This guy was just he was an anime bully.
Yeah.
He was an anime bully. He's like, how can I make these kills super great? But it reminded me of something that Predator
shield is sick though.
Though they were sick. It was sick. Yeah. This Predator was a dick.
But his cloaking tech was very sensitive. You can tell because when it got blood all over it, it was like messing up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you could tell that again, his tech was very, very low and stuff like that. Plus, it's early too. It's the 1700s and stuff like that. I'm assuming they haven't really.
From where we've seen it, it's still 200 years away.
Yeah.
So
300.
300.
300. Yeah.
So I mean, technology gets bigger. It gets everything else.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So, would you recommend this movie?
Definitely. It's really good. It's a good rewatch. It's a good, like, you know, especially if someone has never seen the Predator series, this is a good one to get into and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like showing this to someone that hasn't known, they only hear about it, but they've never really watched a movie. This one's good because it also connects the dots a bit with Predator 2 when Danny Glover gets that old pistol at the end of it.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
So my thinking is that there might be a third one because at the very end it shows the cave drawings and it shows like other Predator ships coming, and I'm assuming it's going to be like a trilogy of like next time there's gonna be another Predator, but he's gonna be a better hunter, or there's gonna be like two Predators that come and she's gonna have to take them out, and then eventually it's gonna be like, okay, cool, we're gonna.
Alien is owned by Disney at this point, right? Because it technically belongs to 20th Century.
It belongs to 20th Century.
So then they
Fox.
could probably mix the two universes together and probably fix what.
They could do their own Alien versus Predator, like
with respect to the lore.
Like and they could probably use the comics and everything else.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, if you actually made a really good Alien versus Predator, that'd be kind of sick. But
actually good AVP.
And actually, that's true. No,
no, hold on.
No, you're right, because that's the thing is like that's what I've always told people is that AVP is good as a gore fest movie, as a good action movie.
Yeah, it's like Final Destination.
Exactly, but it's not a good like lore movie like Aliens or Predator and Predator 2.
It doesn't give you more depth within the franchises and stuff like
Prey
that.
does that pretty well. So, yeah, okay, good to hear that. I didn't think about that way, though, where you said it was like, oh, this is a good entry if you want to get into Predator.
It is.
Because you watch this, then you watch Predator and Predator 2.
Yeah, you can watch Predator and Predator 2.
Ah, okay.
It goes full circle at that point.
And Predator still is a good movie on its own.
Predator? Yeah.
Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh, yeah.
It still stands up.
It's a solid movie.
Yeah.
I think that's why what this one was good is that it's a movie that it's not going forward. It's just going back, but then at the same time making known that, we are aware of the previous franchises and stuff like that. Yeah. But we could go more by going back.
Yeah.
I do feel that Predator 2, the only thing I have with Predator 2 is that its slow time makes it. I mean, it's very drags
at
certain
out.
points.
This one just ends.
Well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing though. Like I remember saying it last week, where it was like, oh yeah, this is the kind of movie where if it was any longer, it would drag.
Yeah.
Because the first Predator did a good job of balancing out the characters, but then also showing you the Predator and been like, there's something watching us.
There's a story, and then that story gets pushed in back because it's not as important as the squad basically surviving this thing that you can't see.
I know. I can't believe that Predator was working for that cartel. I mean, the connections.
Yeah.
If you guys want to check out our full thoughts of Prey, where Nick and I talk with Adam about it, go check out issue 110.
Did Adam like it? I didn't get that far into it. He enjoyed it? Okay.
He enjoyed it.
He enjoyed it. He didn't do a controversial take where it's like, this movie sucks. And then we're all like, what?
This is terrible.
Why? This is terrible.
This is terrible.
Dude.
They could have done it better.
Hey, man, you know, his takes are interesting. So
he does have interesting takes.
He does.
Yeah.
Comic strips.
Yes.
We ready to talk about this? Because we have a pretty packed issue this week. More DC updates that are coming your way. And then we're going to be talking about She-Hulk. So, because the first episode just premiered. With the next one, if you're watching this on day of release, the second episode would have been coming out on Thursday, basically tomorrow. So let's go with comic strips real quick. Again, if you're new to the show, this is just basically a quick rundown of some notes and pieces of information or news bits that have come out throughout the week that we really don't want to spend too much time on because it's small bits and pieces, you know.
That we end up spending half an hour on.
Exactly. Stop. Well, you do, because you look at one of these topics, you're just like, oh, this is interesting. And you go on for like 5 minutes. Yeah.
That's
especially when it's about that.
When it's about Star Wars.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead.
I'm very quick and concise.
Let's go ahead and start off with comics.
Take a shot right now.
Take a shot every time Nick talks for about a minute in. For every
Take
little
a
piece
shot
of news.
every time Nick stops us from moving on from the topic.
10 minutes in.
I have never done that. I am on point.
You're doing it now.
Start drinking, assholes.
All right, comic strips. Multiverses becomes the best-selling game in July. Why is this interesting? Because Multiverses, the Warner Brothers brawler platformer, is free to play. But it still became the #1 best-selling game in July.
Is it available on mobile, or is it also just platform games?
Consoles and PC. The reason it became the best-selling game is because it sold 3 different tiers: a $40 tier, which is a Founders Edition; a $80 Collector's Edition, which is just like some gimmicks and
And
little
there was a free
tokens;
one.
and then there was a $100 and the free one.
Didn't that also come with a statue or something like that? It
No.
came with something.
No. There was no physical Collector's Edition. It was, you got a badge that said you paid $100. Here's a text in gold that says your name and a giant piece of toast.
Dude, what moron bought that?
Oh, I ran into people that have bought that because your name is in gold. It's highlighted in gold. That is the only way you can get that, by paying $100
In game?
in game.
So dumb.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
That's not no.
I paid $100.
Can I do
$100?
$100? Can I do $100 collectively?
The most I've spent on the game right now, 15. Because
That's
I've bought
reasonable.
the $5 pre-season battle pass. I got to like level 11 out of 15.
Yeah.
Which is okay.
And 15 was only for this week.
15 was for the beta.
He spent $45 last week.
Stop.
Another 60.
Take a shot. He's already distracting
Yeah.
everyone.
doing a bit.
HBO Max cuts 200 episodes of Sesame Street. out
That's
of
interesting.
nowhere. Yeah. It's after this HBO or Warner Brothers Discovery merger. Basically, 200 episodes of Sesame Street gone.
Hang on. Wait up.
What?
Okay, hang on. Okay. Who was actually watching Sesame Street?
Kids.
They were
older-
watching
that
200
far back?
Yeah, that far back?
But still,
You were showing them the one with Bill Cosby going like, "Oh, Bill, you're such a great role model.
You're so nice to women, Bill.
You're so nice, Bill." That's what you're concerned
no,
about?
but you know what?
I'll make you a drink, Elmo.
So Andy and I were talking about this because she just found out that the Panty Raid episode of SpongeBob isn't on Paramount Plus.
Well, yeah, because it's a panty raid.
Exactly. But here's my problem with it, okay? I understand there's sensitivity that goes on with it. But when you start cutting things off a streaming service, especially things like Sesame Street, that has a history, a long-running history, it does become questionable because...
No, it's a smart move.
Why?
Because that means I can sell DVDs.
That's true.
And I can sell collector's editions.
That's
of
why-
the first I can sell now collector's editions of first 5 seasons of Sesame Street in a collector's metal tin box.
Own the original 10-year
Or-
run of Sesame
or for
Street
Community.
for 5 payments of $19.99. Just call this number
Hold
right
on.
here.
If you're a huge fan of Sesame Street and you really want those episodes,
Yeah.
you do it.
Yeah.
DVD sales will go up now.
Yeah.
Same thing with how The Office did
I can't find it.
The Office did it, and so did Community. They cut out the scenes that had blackface,
Yeah. Which,
But-
because it was insensitive.
which I don't like in The Office because they have the scene when they're doing the Christmas thing,
The Krampus episode.
the Crumpets, yeah, and what is it? Dwight's like secondhand man is coming in on blackface, but they cut that part out. They cut
Did they
that part.
really?
They cut that part out. But the thing is, though, next scene you see him standing in the background with his white. He's wiped off his face, but he still has black lining.
Oh.
So it's like there's an inconsistency there, which I don't like because it's like you're still.
Did they cut the scene where he
walks in, yeah.
walks in and whips Jim? Then
Yeah.
the story doesn't make any sense.
That's the thing. Yeah.
It's a weird
That's
episode.
interesting.
It's a weird
Yeah.
episode.
I like
same
that
thing.
episode.
Same thing with.
No. I'm saying now it's
I love that episode. It's my favorite episode. Let's say that.
specifically for the Dwight scene. It's the only reason he watched it.
They did the same thing in Community. On any sort of streaming platform, they cut out the entire episode of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Which is BS.
Yeah,
that's
that's
like
one of the
great
best
episodes.
episodes. It's one of the best episodes because they play Advanced Dungeons and Dragons for one of the characters named Fat Neil, and he's depressed, so they happen to make him feel better by playing Dungeons and Dragons. Ken Jeong's character is wearing all black makeup because he's an elf. That's the thing.
Okay,
He's
I get the sensitivity.
But the thing
Yeah.
is that
but I
he's
understand
not.
your point. Yeah.
But the thing is that it's funny because he's like, because they even make the joke of, bro, why are you in blackface?
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm not in blackface. I'm a dark elf.
I'm a dark elf. He goes,
I'm a dark
and so then
Which is hilarious.
Like Yvette Brown, I think that's her name.
Yeah.
she even makes the joke of like, so we're all just gonna ignore that blackface, right? She's all like, so that's the thing. They even make it known.
Yeah, they make it known.
But
like it's bad. It's like
still
what
bad.
he's doing is bad.
This is a separate topic for another issue
Yeah.
because
Right.
I do have my takes on the sensitivity behind. Excuse me, all of this. Like I get it.
Brian agrees. He 100% agrees.
No, I don't agree. I'm just
don't
saying.
do that.
I'm just saying that maybe take it back a little bit because if it's being
Look
noticed,
into it more.
Exactly. Don't just be offended by it. That's a separate issue.
But
we'll leave it
people
at
are
that.
people are offended with Tropic Thunder now.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
see how much
so
is being promoted.
funny because people have actually watched that. Like I've seen people react to that movie, and they go, and it's actually certain black people on YouTube, and they're like, you know what? It was before this whole thing. They're all like, he was funny in it. They do a great job of making it known that it is a white dude in blackface. And that's like, they are saying like, no, yeah, that's wrong in the movie.
Like, this is weird.
Yeah, this is weird. Like even, what is it? Brandon T. Jackson's character makes it known like he didn't get the role, but a white dude got the role to play a black lead in that movie.
And it's supposed to be a commentary of like people from that specific race
They
aren't even getting the roles that they're getting.
That's the thing. It's poking fun at that, and at the same time, people are now realizing that, and it's like, okay, that's fine then, because you're making the joke aware of what it is.
So our audience has basically done like 5 shots since we've literally talked about this bit for about 5 minutes. But it is an interesting take because you are right.
It's a topic. That's
It is a
going on
topic,
now.
and it is a topic because I didn't think about it in that way. That DVD sales will go up.
Yeah.
I just don't see Sesame Street being one of those yet. Maybe, but
No,
it is interesting.
No, because there's some diehards.
Yeah.
And especially when you have like Robin Williams, you have
That was a great episode.
because those are the episodes that got cut.
Yeah.
Are like the Robin Williams ones, the Bill Nye, all those.
And we'll talk about Warner Brothers in the topic, coming in a bit because we are talking about DC after comic strips. So we'll talk about it because it does look like a money move at this point.
Yeah.
Bryce Dallas Howard talks pay. Says that she was very underpaid compared to her co-star Chris Pratt in the Jurassic World series.
Can you look at Bryce Dallas Howard's IMDb, please?
So she claims that the reason as to why she was underpaid, one of the factors was that she was forced to sign, or not forced, but she was pushed into signing a 3-movie contract, and that tied her down to a certain amount of pay. And she didn't realize that Chris Pratt was was earning way more money than she was. Bit of a controversy there, but it is interesting because she's been pretty much out in the news a lot more recently.
Here's the thing, though. Say what you will. That's not just on the studio.
No.
That's also on her agent.
Her
agent messed up.
Yeah,
that
of
is
course.
That is something that he messed up on. It is not because the studio, whenever they give you a contract, they're going to try and get the best possible deal.
They want to try to underpay.
They're going to try and underpay you.
That's the thing about movies is that most big movies will have one big name out there. It is the center name. It is the actor or actress that's going to be in the front poster. That's going to be amplified
And I'm
everything.
telling you right now, for Jurassic World, Bryce Dallas Howard was not that.
No, it was Chris Pratt.
It was Chris Pratt.
It was Chris Pratt 100%.
Yeah.
So that's why he got paid more. I mean, there is a little bend of gender inequality here. That's always been a factor in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But granted, the headlines do say it this way. It will be misinterpreted. It will be pulled out of context, but there is more to it. So it is an interesting piece of information that does come out about Bryce Dallas Howard.
It's the same thing with Downey on Iron Man. And when he went to Iron Man 2, his pay increase was huge.
Yeah.
He had a giant pay increase over everybody.
Yeah.
And then people were, that was the whole reason why, what's his name left?
Terrence Howard. Yeah.
Terrence Howard left because he was making way more money than like everybody on set was. And they were like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah.
He wanted a pay bump too.
Yeah, he also wanted to pay bump.
What were you looking up Bryce Dallas Howard on IMDb?
Yeah, we were looking up her IMDb. So can you go to where Jurassic World is?
So that came out in 2015.
Okay, so what are the movies beforehand that would make her pretty big? So she was in the Twilight
she was
Saga,
in Twilight.
but she was only credited.
Yeah.
It was only a credit only. She actually wasn't
Eclipse. Oh yeah, she played the main antagonist in Eclipse. Oh, she was in Terminator Salvation.
That movie didn't do well.
Spider-Man 3. Yeah, she was Gwen Stacy.
She was who?
Gwen Stacy.
She was Gwen, the blonde.
She's the one that he goes out with when he's all in dark when he's Dark Spider-Man.
Oh, she was Lady in the Water. She was in Lady in the Water.
So she had a name, but
she was in the
wasn't...
Village. I keep forgetting that.
Oh yeah, she was the main character in the Village.
Yeah.
She was a name, but I don't think she was a name as big as Chris Pratt, who basically took over most of that scene after Parks and Rec.
So again,
and Guardians.
So she's had some traction, but I think again, it's her last name that's giving her
but the thing
known in Hollywood.
Yeah, but the thing is that she was not. Hold on, she was not coming off of $1 billion movie.
No.
She was not coming off of Guardians.
No.
Yeah.
And Chris Pratt was. That was the smash hit of the summer. And we're going to be able to say Chris Pratt is in this movie, and Chris Pratt was a huge reason why that movie was such a big hit.
He was selling tickets. That's another thing.
That makes sense.
He was selling tickets.
At the time, he was selling tickets.
Makes sense.
Not anymore now, but...
Can we move on to the other topics of comic strips?
Why not anymore?
All right.
Oh, because everyone doesn't like him because he's a Republican, apparently.
Or something along the lines of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he married Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter. Of course he's a Republican. Arnold Schwarzenegger's a Republican. Everybody knows this, right?
Yeah, everyone seems to forget that. Most celebrities are Republicans. Secretly. Like Chris Evans is a Republican.
What do you mean secretly?
No, they don't say their party affiliation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but also money.
I love how he's trying to fix my camera, but at the same time trying to
very crooked.
All right, moving on. Spider-Man No Way Home is returning to theaters September 2nd. Tickets go on sale Tuesday, August 23rd.
Are we getting tickets?
Heck
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
And of course. And it includes 11 minutes of extra footage that was not seen in theaters.
Just Peter changing.
It's
a lot of slow. Just.
Am I ready to cry again? Probably. Jonah.
It's like 2 minutes of just Aunt May just laying there like.
It's another minute of Goblin just like throwing the grenade.
Jonah Hill is in the news. Claims that he hated Christopher Mintz-Plasse, I think is how you pronounce his name. Yeah. He was during the auditions of Superbad.
Yeah.
And he will no longer be doing interviews, promoting any movies or shows that he's going to be in because of anxiety and basically pressure that has surrounded him in media.
What was his name?
Christopher Mintz-Plasse. While you look that up, I'm going to keep going because I do have 3 more topics before we move on. Sony will be producing a Days Gone movie. This also is in the same circle of other things that they're working on, including a Ghost of Tsushima movie, the Last of Us show.
What did you say?
That he hated him during the auditions.
Oh, yeah. When he first did the audition for McLovin, Jonah Hill was annoyed by him. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
I like...
There's a reason why he hasn't been in movies lately.
Probably.
Jonah Hill.
Did you even pay attention to any of the Sony stuff I just said?
What were we saying?
Go ahead.
Oh my god. We're trying to move on. We're almost 30 minutes into the show, dude.
Drink.
We share the same birthday. Hey, birthday boy.
Oh my god. What? Sony's producing Days Gone movie. This is the
I
same
saw
thing
that. Yeah.
as
That's not important. But we share the same birthday though.
Happy birthday.
Oh my god.
Keep going.
Cineworld is preparing to file for bankruptcy. They're the owners of Regal Theaters.
Oh.
So that's an interesting little tidbit. Another theater chain is going to be filing for bankruptcy.
Regal?
Regal.
Well, they serve Pepsi, so they should go.
Now, okay, here's my thing though. Because the last time that happened, that was Krikorian.
Oh yeah.
The Krikorian went out of business, and that was
and AMC filed for bankruptcy. They're the first theater chain to file for bankruptcy.
Right. Yeah, but they came back.
Yeah, they did.
Bounced back, given that
A-list, baby.
A-list for life. No, but for
peasants.
I don't know why that tickled us so hard. The day that you first got your AMC A-list,
like a swoop of like power came into your soul. It was
dude.
It was so funny of us going into, was it Buzz Lightyear?
No, it was Top Gun.
That's right. When we were just like, what are you doing in here, peasant? Yeah. We were just looking at Renee because he had gotten A-list. Yeah. We were like, oh no, this line's for for premium A-list members. We're A-listers. Peasants go in that line. And it was like this really long line.
Yeah. Which you guys told me to go on the line with you, too. I was
But it just made it funny.
All right, last bit of information before we close out and talk about DC. 2 surprise episodes drop for The Sandman,
Yes.
which includes an animated short with guest voices Sandra Oh, James McAvoy, and David Tennant, as well as a live-action story.
Cool.
Interesting, because Netflix usually doesn't drop surprise episodes for a series that they've already released. So
it's funny because David Tennant was playing a character. I think it's the same character. I'm not too sure. In a previous Neil Gaiman property called Good Omens. That's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he plays.
Look it up and see if it's the same character.
Dude, he's
But I
making
haven't
you
seen
look
it
up
yet.
everything.
I don't want to. I haven't seen it yet.
You're messing up good content, Renee. You're messing it up. That concludes Comic Strips, issue 111.
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready to talk about DC updates? The DC portion.
DC.
Dude, you know what I'm tired of? I'm
DC's
talking about DC. I'm tired because there's some DC fanboy that's like, you guys never talk anything good about DC. It's always something bad. Well, whose fault is that?
Yeah.
It's freaking Warner Brothers, man.
I blame
Hey, first
Ezra
off,
Miller.
it's Warner Discovery.
Oh, sorry, Warner Discovery.
I thought it was Warner Brothers Discovery.
It is Warner Brothers
I
Discovery.
was like
Discovery. Why not Discovery Warner Brothers?
WBD.
Why not DW?
No, it's WBD.
DWB.
Discovery has to come last.
W-
The D comes last.
WBD. You know what? That also that doesn't roll off the tongue.
DWB.
Yeah.
It's not like
Welcome
Or
to the
WBD.
the WBD.
Welcome to the D.
Welcome to the D.
Hey man, you forgot about the WB? No, I didn't.
No, I didn't. It's all D here.
Oh, I didn't know this was the Discovery section.
About to discover something, all right.
So it's interesting because Warner Brothers Discovery, I feel like the last 2 weeks they've
Yeah.
just been trimming fat left and right, right?
Yeah.
It's
Someone's
just
like,
straight up
Hold on,
like.
is it trimming fat or putting out fires? That's the
I mean, look.
that's
okay,
the thing
it
that you
depends
really
on
have to
who
talk
you
about.
ask. Because if you ask us, they're putting out fires. You ask a DC fanboy, they're like, "How dare you cut Batgirl? You're canceling all the CW
Okay,
properties."
But just like I said earlier, I thought it was really funny when a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, I can't believe that they cut 222 episodes of Sesame Street. How dare they?" And they left 500.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a lot of content.
Yeah.
it's not like they were just
Those
like,
are the most important 200
Yeah.
episodes of my life.
You cut my childhood.
like they left so many. Like, it's not like they just cut Sesame Street. They just trimmed a couple of episodes. Who knows? Maybe they needed the room on the server.
Yeah.
I don't know. But seriously,
Oh, this is HBO Max. We can't put up any more of the movies. Why? Because we have over 3 terabytes
3 terabytes. That's
of Sesame
nothing.
Street.
that's nothing. It's just Sesame Street.
It's just Sesame Street.
No,
Pure Sesame
But
Street.
that's my thing.
Petabytes.
But that was my thing though. Is that like
Petabytes now.
I saw so many people on like Twitter and like Instagram and everything else where they were just like, "R.I.P. Sesame Street, 200 episodes gone. Warner Brothers, what are you doing?" And it's like,
You guys realize how long Sesame Street has been around?
yeah, like it's been around since the 70s.
Yeah.
I think earlier than that.
Dude, they literally
Late
cut
60s
all the
at
ones.
most. It was
that
around the same
all-
time like Mr. Rogers.
Okay, all the kids that are watching it now don't even know who those people are.
By the time every
The
kid,
guests
if
that
a
are
kid
on there now are
started
like,
watching
what?
it, right? My nephew started watching Sesame Street at the age of 5. I don't think
Yes.
he'd get through all 800 episodes by the time he's like 10.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you watch like 5 every day.
No, if you literally just like Clockwork Orange it, I think you're fine. The frog is right. The frog is right. No, but
Makes a viable home in a trash can. It's okay, Oscar the Grouch does it. So can I. No, so Warner Brothers Discovery, trimming the fat. They're putting out fires left and right.
Yeah.
With this news, we basically said last week that they gave Ezra Miller an ultimatum with 3 options.
Yes.
Apologize and seek help for the movie to come out. Don't mess up, and maybe the movie will come out or continue to be a mess up, and we cancel everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple of days afterwards, Ezra Miller comes out with a statement and says, "Guys, look, I'm sorry I messed up. I know I'm a jerk and an asshole. I'm seeking help."
I think it's more the lines
This is
they
a-
probably didn't say, but they won't pay him if he makes an apology.
Yeah,
Like,
we
he
don't-
won't get any
we-
money back from that.
Well,
I hope not.
no, because I'm pretty sure he has points, just like Scarlett Johansson did.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like he gets
I get a
basically-
point for every I get a percentage of the ticket sales.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But if this movie doesn't come out at all, you get nothing. No residuals, no movie, no toys, no nothing. All of this
Toys.
becomes zero.
Toys.
Toys are a huge thing.
I know. You really want to
Everyone
own
likes
an
toys. I buy toys. Okay. I'm a big boy. Okay. Like,
You really want to own an action figure of Ezra Miller?
No.
Star Wars was built on the Tower of Toys.
I know it was. No, I'm not
That's
saying
how George
toys are
Lucas-
bad.
That's how
George Lucas made his
Listen,
company.
You're talking to a guy that has collectibles in his apartment as well, all right? Yes, toys are a huge thing.
Yeah, no, you
Except
just
for Funkos. Funkos are not toys.
No, they're not.
They're not.
Those are action figures.
I was so disappointed. I went to a store in a mall that says it was like is like a toy store. Walked in, Funkos.
Just a
Funkos
Funko.
I've never
are
been.
huge.
I've never been
Funkos
mad
are
in my
huge.
life. I was like, God damn it.
Funkos are huge, dude.
Have you ever actually played with a Funko?
How do you play with a Funko?
Easy. Just pew pew.
No, I need articulation.
I need opposable.
I need accessories.
That's what the
I need
that's what the
removable
bobblehead's
hands.
for.
No, God,
That's what the bobblehead's for.
I hate that so much. I hate that every.
He needs limbs.
Yeah,
he needs.
this. I need this.
I need weapons to be interchangeable and stuff.
Yes.
Oh my god. You know what sucks as an adult is that, you know, as a kid, a $20 action figure would suffice you, and now like all these different statues with joints and everything are like $120.
300 points of articulation.
Exactly.
$30.
Oh
It's
my
$30
God.
now for an action figure. What used to be under $20 now.
Exactly.
Marvel Legends is like
Huge.
upping the price every
That's
time.
besides the point. What I'm saying right now is that if he doesn't do that, I'm pretty sure that he was going to miss out on a huge payday.
Of course.
And also his role in Hollywood is gone. There's no
That would be his last check.
that would be
basically.
your
But
last check
that's
for a
the
while.
thing is that this does not need to come as a surprise. Like at this point, the amount of stuff that has been coming out about Ezra Miller, this guy is garbage. This guy's trash.
but I also don't know how fast he's been burning through cash.
Oh, I thought he was. I don't know how fast he's
Yeah,
been running
'cause
away
he's-
from the lot.
No,
I'm like,
no,
Jesus.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
I don't
because-
know how fast he's been burning through
Do you
cash.
see what
A
he
lot.
wears? He wears like designer stuff, and
Yeah.
he
No, this-
goes off to different countries or different
You
states.
He
and
runs
just-
farms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Of
rents
people.
giant acres of land.
Yeah.
I don't know how fast he's burning through money. And yes, he does have residuals and he does have everything else, but that only lasts you for so long, especially when you're like, damn, this is going to be my last movie for at least 4 to 5 years. I highly doubt somebody.
He's not going to come back. This guy basically, like, here, okay, there's a difference between someone like him and someone like Jared Leto. Jared Leto, like, for example, right? Because those two, both extreme, but at opposite ends of the spectrum.
No, Jared Leto should also be canceled as well.
Well,
should
Jared
not
Leto's
be.
just a piece of garbage as well.
Yeah,
He's
Jared-
not a good person. Like
Yeah.
he basically contributes to the brainwashing of people, making them think a certain way, right?
But Jared Leto has multiple avenues of income.
Exactly.
He's an artist.
He's also an artist.
It's just the thought of Ezra Miller apologizing is interesting because now you're kind of putting Warner Brothers Discovery in this position of like we were pretty much on the dot where we were saying that this movie was just not going to come out at this point. The apology comes out. The movie's still planning on coming out, but in March of next year.
Oh, before we started recording, I forgot to finish
That's
showing
right.
you the video. So in the video, the new head of Warner Discovery says there is a lot of really good stuff. There's a lot of really great stuff that has been shot. Flash, Shazam, what was it? Black Adam. All of these movies, even Aquaman, they've all got really good stuff. We just have to reshoot it. There's a lot that we have to reshoot in order for us to get our vision started. So they're already using...
This is an investor's call.
And this is an investor's call. This is what he's telling the investors to calm them down. Of going like, we have these movies. We know what we're doing. We have a 10-year plan. We're putting somebody in the Feige chair, because he even mentions Kevin Feige.
We said this like 2-3 issues back because
We
you
did.
were on the show when we talked about
Yes,
this. That
it was
DC,
109. I think it was like 109.
Yeah, where DC wants to essentially put itself on that same level as Marvel
in
Studios.
the investors call, he mentions Disney.
Now, here's the
He
thing
says,
about
"This is what I
investors call.
want."
Investors calls, because I feel like most people don't understand the point of an investors call. They look at an investors call and be like, what piece of information is going to be coming out? Is it a new movie or an announcement or something? Like,
No, it's do not sell.
Yes. It's also a more of like a foundation layout of what's to come, of things that are already announced. They're pretty much just making solid of things that they've already planned out. So in that investors call, you said DC is now classified as a studio.
Yes.
It's not a property.
It's not a property. Well, I mean, the major properties that they were talking about was Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, 90 Day Fiance, and like a couple other things. And they were talking about how like the reason why Warner Brothers is in the state it's in is because it's more male centric. That's where it's at. Whereas Discovery is more female centric. More females will watch Discovery, Discovery Plus.
Yeah, they'll watch like serial killer documentaries. And...
Yeah, but honestly, that is,
way to classify it.
But what they were saying is that they're making a brand new app.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, though, is that they're going to be dissolving HBO Now. They're going to be dissolving Discovery Plus, and they're going to merge all the content into this brand new app.
It's just going to be HBO Max.
But that's the thing, though, is that they're using both UIs. So they're gonna basically cookie cutter all the things that worked for HBO and all the things that are working for Discovery Plus, and slam them together.
Which I'm perfectly fine with. Like,
well, Discovery Plus has a really bad interface. It's like,
but HBO Max has a really good one.
Yeah.
So you take that with their content, but the thing is that Discovery Plus has a really great promotions area.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They promote their brand new stuff amazingly. HBO Max doesn't necessarily do it all that well.
No.
They don't.
So that's what I'm saying. They're going to take pieces of what they already have, all the things that make HBO Max really good, that promotes to the men, all the things that help make Discovery really promotable towards women, and then slam them together and then go, cool, now we have something that is gender.
That is an
appeal.
interesting take, because now that you mention it, certain streaming apps, like the ones that have really good interfaces, in my opinion, right, would be something like Netflix and Hulu.
Those have amazing.
Crappy as Hulu is, Hulu's
really
interface is fantastic. You log in, you're immediately promoted to the new stuff that they're releasing.
You know who fixed their interface too is Prime. Prime fixed it really well.
On mobile or on TV?
On TV.
On TV.
Has it? Because I still feel like it's
No,
kind of
have you checked on it lately?
I think
When he was watching The Boys, he would have had to.
Yeah, but they changed it since then.
so. My problem with Prime's
I
interface.
recently I finished Vox Machina, and it's different.
No,
Okay.
because
the interface.
You finished Vox Machina?
Yeah, super good.
It's super good. Right?
All right, lovebirds, relax.
Dude, we'll have to talk about Vox Machina later once you watch it, because dude, it's a dope show.
I'll probably watch it.
It's like honestly, you could probably watch it like in an afternoon. It's so easy to burn through.
I finished the 5 episodes of Harley Quinn in a day, so I can probably.
That was only 5 episodes of the new season.
Yeah,
There's 6 now.
I know. I gotta watch this season.
The new one was good.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's the Joker runs for mayor.
Oh.
and it's for the like most caring thing in the world. It is so funny.
It's Alan Tudyk, man.
It's
He's so great.
The premise of it is that his stepson is trying to get into a bilingual class, and there's only 20 seats, and all the white kids were able to get in, but his Mexican kids were not able to get into the bilingual class. And the rationale for one of the parents for getting into the bilingual class was because she wants somebody in the house to know when the maids are talking crap about them behind their backs. So she goes, yeah, now the maids can't talk behind our backs. We don't know what they're saying about us.
I'm gonna reel the topic back to Warner Brothers Discovery.
Still talking about Warner Brothers.
Yeah, no, it's still the same property, right?
Yeah.
But talking about the interfaces before we move on, right? Because you do bring up a good point. HBO's interface is not good enough. It's pretty decent, right? The only thing is it doesn't promote a lot of the things that are new on the platform, as well as things like
I have to search
Hulu.
for new things. On
I think
HBO Max.
Hulu is the best because I knew about the show The Bear before anyone talked about
Mm-hmm.
it.
Its AI is amazing. Not only that, but also it really keeps you on track.
It does.
Like if you're watching a show,
It's right there.
The first thing that happens as soon as you turn that thing on is, do you want to continue?
Yes.
Would you like to
Right
continue
there.
on this on the show? It has exactly where you're at. Not only that, but also it even knows, hey, we know where the intro is. Skip it.
So-
and it auto skips as well. It's great.
So with that in mind, I can see why the demographic for something like HBO Max is more, it's on that side of male, of a male audience, because HBO is promoting the DC franchise more than anything.
Yeah.
I don't see any Warner Brothers shows. I'll tell you right now.
But it's also the coloring.
It's the
It's the color. The colors that go off on it are black, dark blue, and white.
purple,
And
dark purple. It's all
And,
dark
like,
colors.
It's all dark
which
colors.
I understand, but like, given the fact, right? Maybe a show that would be interesting, a figure, an actress that would probably, be more promotable towards women. Kaylee Coco, I think is how you pronounce her name.
Yeah.
Or Casey or Kaylee.
Kaylee Coco.
Kaylee Coco, right? With the show that she produces, The Flight Attendant.
The Flight Attendant, yeah.
Right. And I started watching like an episode or two. It's a pretty good show.
Yeah, I haven't watched
But
it yet.
she's a very promotable figure.
I
Yeah.
thought it was
They
so
just
funny.
stopped.
I thought it was so funny when I was reading the shows that got canned off of that are getting not only canned but taken off of HBO Max
Which ones?
because we were laughing about it
Who? Which one?
at Fandom when they had Aquaman,
Oh
King of Atlantis.
my God, that's getting canned. Yeah.
Wait, that was still going?
Dude, it was like 2-3 seasons. It was like 2 seasons in.
Yeah.
and
And
like
it's getting out.
And like literally,
That's
like
funny.
I remember when me and you and Andy watched it, and she had the greatest comment of like, we're gonna do this, and it's a sing along. So sing along with Aquaman, and then all of a sudden Andy goes, "Why would I want to do that?"
That's funny.
I remember just dying laughing. I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, you're
It's
right."
such a weird
You know,
show.
It was,
It was
but it was
funny.
it was not a great show.
No,
was
and
not.
but that's the thing is that it's new,
Yeah.
and it's being removed out of HBO immediately.
Yeah, because it wasn't making money.
No.
It wasn't. It didn't have the viewership. It wasn't get it off.
So this is where that idea.
What were
of-
you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like Cartoon Network or like the studio that did like, or just in general, just Warner Brothers and Cartoon Network. It feels like they're trying to like capture the next Adventure Time or
So they're canceling one of the shows that has that regular show aesthetic. I forget what it's called. It's one of those newer shows that just
I don't
came
know,
out.
but I also did notice that they weren't cutting a lot of Cartoon Network.
They weren't.
They
Cartoon
did-
Network is safe.
Cartoon
But
Network,
that's-
like everything on Cartoon Network that came over to HBO Max, all still there. They were like anything that was like HBO Max like content.
So here's
got taken
where
off.
I'm going to start theorizing. I think that Warner Brothers Discovery is going to keep a legacy collection of a lot of things that they know are easily promotable to the crowd like us and our age demographic. And they'll start promoting things for the newer generation, newer movies and stuff, and that's where that focus is going
I'm
to be.
calling it right now. If Warner Discovery really, really wants it, go back into the vault and go restart some of the Cartoon Network shows. Like Codename Kids Next Door.
I thought they were going to be doing that.
It was been talked about. They made scripts, but they never went through with it. Get those, Ed, Ed and Eddie. You have like
Courage.
all Courage.
never liked Courage.
Foster's Home.
It's a weird show.
Yeah.
You never liked Courage? Courage was great.
But Courage is a weird show.
Foster's was great.
Foster's is a
Home
little
for
harder.
Imaginary
Foster's
Yeah.
is harder. Foster's is
I watched
harder.
a few episodes of that. I didn't care. You know what? I'm probably the only person in our generation that never liked Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Because I feel
I'm on that same boat. I liked it, but I wasn't in that crowd that I was obsessed with it because it
Right?
was like very cringy at some point.
Yeah, because
Yes,
I
it
didn't like
was.
the main characters. I was
Yeah.
like,
Also,
these are idiots.
also, it's the artwork is really gross too.
Yeah.
like it's more grotesque than anything else. It's very Tim Burton-esque.
Rocket Power though, but
Rocket
that's
Power-
Nickelodeon.
that's
I was
Nickelodeon.
like, that's Nick.
No, but that's Nickelodeon. But what I'm saying is that you can easily make brand new franchises out of those things. Like, what about if you did a Kids Next Door TV show, but it's all of their kids?
Yeah.
And they don't, and it's kind of like Spy
So-
Kids. It's kind of like Spy Kids, and they think that their parents don't know about it. And
I have a funny story about Kids Next Door. So it took off when I was in grade school. I think I was like in the 4th or 5th grade.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
my friends, I never had cable. So my friends were talking about it and they're like, let's play Codename Kid Next Door. And I was like, okay. And they're like,
You were
I'm
there.
number 1, and I was like, you'll be number 2, Renee. I'm like, okay.
Oh, do you know who number 2 is?
I never knew who they were talking about.
Number 2 is always the fat kid.
Yeah.
Dude.
And so then I was like, then I watched it at my grandma's house because she had satellite and stuff. And
And then you were like, you son of a...
yeah. I was like, why is number 2 big? And I was just like,
Yeah, but number 2 is cool.
Yeah, but number 2 is also number 2. He's literally, if number 1 is gone, everybody goes, what do we do, number
Yeah.
2?
And I'm like, and I never know the show, so I didn't know what the character was and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
just played along. I was just like,
I used to do, when I was a kid, we used to play Kids Next Door, but then we would also do G Gundam mixed in.
ooh,
Like
that's
we would
interesting.
do like anime that's also mixed in. So we
Yeah.
would do like a little bit of Yu Yu Hakusho where you also had abilities from.
Mm-hmm.
I was nerdy.
Oh, it's okay. No, I can totally relate to that. So, are we going to talk about grade school
Go
real
for
quick?
it, yeah.
In elementary school,
No, we did. You
no,
don't. Come on.
No, come on.
in grade school, a couple buddies of mine and we used to play this game where we would do like battle, but
Yeah.
we pick franchises that we grew up watching. So we chose like, Yu-Gi-Oh or
That sounds
Gundam,
fun, yeah.
or like, what was another one?
Who would
Yu-Gi-Oh!
choose Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, they're
I
just like-
did.
I know, just
Exodia.
throw a
Just-
card. Like, just
throwing
throw a
cards at
card.
each other?
Actually, you
or
know
what?
what? My elementary school, they banned Yu-Gi-Oh
So
Yeah,
mine-
same here.
Yeah.
And
All of them
Pokemon.
did.
and Pokemon,
Yeah.
It's still kind of banned.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to have them on campus.
which is
sure.
But kids,
Really?
still bring them, and then none of the teachers enforce it.
no.
But I thought it was funny though because I remember when I was in grade school, we had episodes. Like it was an anthology. It was like a full on story
Yeah.
of like what happened yesterday, and it was like, we captured so and so did this, and then then you were gonna do like shining finger on somebody, and then recess ended, so then you had. Will Nick survive this encounter?
Yeah.
Will they be able to save the day? Until next time. And then we did that, and we were just like, and now that I think back on it, I was like, wow, we were watching way too much TV.
But see, that's what Warner Brothers Discovery needs to focus on.
do.
It's that legacy, right? Because, okay, granted, there's a lot of stuff that Warner Brothers has developed that's DC centric, right? We can talk about the original Superman films, right? Who hasn't seen those in our generation? Even if you haven't watched the movies completely, we know of
Reeves?
it. Huh?
The Christopher Reeves ones?
Yes. We've seen
They're
even
pretty-
tidbits
they're-
of it.
They're pretty iconic.
The Batman movies. We've seen all of those as well, even if you have not seen it entirely.
That was the other thing that they were talking about is that he was saying there is going to be another Superman. He goes, there's going to be another Superman movie. We just haven't done it right. We have not done a Superman hero movie right.
Hire me. Like, we got it. Or hire us. Let's do it.
I'm just saying in general, they like Warner Discovery was on the call. He was very like, we have a plan. Like we are here. We know what we're doing. We know why we're doing it. We can make these things $1 billion investments.
So let's kind of like wrap this up in the next 10 minutes because we still have to talk about She-Hulk. But with that in mind, right?
Yeah.
The biggest thing that we can really talk about in terms of DC is that investor call, right? The way I see it is you have two separate crowds, okay? We have the crowd of fans that are basically looking at all these cuts and going like, Warner's Discovery is just messing things up. There's no plan. There's no reason to cut all this crap. What are you guys doing? You guys are basically just grabbing garbage and burning it in a furnace and then hoping to God something works, right?
Yeah.
The way we're looking at it from this investor call, they're cutting fat and they're seeing what's profitable, which makes sense because Marvel Studios is that studio. Even though their franchises and films have been very successful, they've been really good as well. It's about the money. What sells?
Well, that was their rationale for Supergirl. I mean, for Batgirl.
Yeah.
The rationale for Batgirl, because somebody asked them, because there is kind of like this, like you can be asked questions by the investors, and they specifically asked why exactly are you canceling Batgirl? What's the whole point of it?
Yeah.
Then they go, and he specifically even says, for the amount of money that it was made for the budget that it had, we could not market that as a movie. Like all of the movies that we were just automatically putting, it was such a cool thing for them to do, and everybody loved it. The idea of, and I think that was like a huge thing that they did for COVID, where they put the movies up the same day in the movie theater as they did on HBO Max.
Yeah.
The problem is that they weren't getting ticket sales because people were just going, well, I'm just going to wait 2 days and then it'll be up on HBO Max and I can just stay home and I don't have to go anywhere. But the thing is that when you do that, you lose. I'm putting money over. I'm doubling my bet, and you're never gonna come out in the red. You're always gonna be owing money after that, because that means I put a movie inside the movie theater. I spent millions of dollars to distribute it. I did all the marketing for it. I did all these other things, and everyone stayed home and just watched it at home. Nobody went to the movie theater to go watch it. It's a waste of money. So why did we do that? And that's what they were saying. All these movies that are going HBO Max, that were just going directly to HBO Max, we're not making money on them. They're not going to make us money. So we have to cancel it. We have to go away with it, because the budget for it and whether and how much money it's going to make, not worth it to us.
So do you think that this move was based off their original plan when COVID was around, where they released movies like Tenet and Dune on the streaming service?
What I think they did was because they released Tenet and they released Dune, and I think the main big idea was that we're unsure if we're going to go back into a lockdown. So why cancel something that we're already doing and cut that infrastructure when it's very possible we could be locked down again, and then movie theaters are going to get shut down. Now, we happen to have gotten lucky that a major lockdown hasn't been needed. But now that I'm doubling the bet, you're never making money on it, though. Like, if you were to go to a casino and then go to, like, roulette, what was it? Like, you're putting a hand in front of you, and then I go, I'm going to bet on this hand, and I'm going to bet on this hand. And I'm trying to get the same thing. No matter what, even if this hand wins but this hand loses, I'm still losing money in this exchange. I'm never making double the money. Now, maybe there are a couple of rare occasions where both of them make money, but more often than not, I'm losing money on this engagement. There's something that's losing. It's either the movie theater I'm losing money on, or it's on HBO Max.
They're basically just, what is it called when you burn a wound? Like, you try to, like,
cauterizing.
They're cauterizing the wound. That's essentially what they're doing.
They're stopping the bleed.
Exactly.
They're stopping the bleed. And if Warner Brothers was so successful with everything they were doing, the merger wouldn't have been necessary.
Mm-hmm. Well, Warner Brothers has been on the market for quite a while.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Warner Brothers has been bleeding, and they haven't changed anything. So why, if they would have changed stuff and everything was profitable, do you think that Disney right now would go, oh yeah, we're going to put ourselves on the market?
No. Yeah, I mean, I completely understand. I get what you're saying there.
It's a boat that's sinking, and we need to get off.
It's kind of interesting because, one of the other streaming services that's kind of on the market, but it's like putting a foot in the water and taking it out, putting it back in, Netflix. Netflix has been rumored to be on the market, and you know who is the big contender of buying it? Microsoft.
If Microsoft buys Netflix, that would be a dope move.
If Microsoft buys Netflix, I don't mind paying Game Pass Ultimate and adding an extra $5 to my subscription, because they will probably include that in that service as well.
Nah, dude, they would just do it for free. As another
That's
thing.
even better, though.
Oh, please. Oh my God, please. I would marry Microsoft right then and there.
Because Microsoft is always like this thing of like, maybe we'll up it to like $20 or $25, but it comes included with your Game Pass.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Because
that's interesting.
Because Netflix is also trying to get into the gaming sphere, because they've been buying up like indie studios like crazy.
Yeah.
Which is like, everybody's like, I don't know what the heck they're doing, but they've been buying a lot of like mobile studios, and so now if you go on Netflix, part of your thing, you can play mobile games through Netflix.
Linus Tech Tips is their podcast called WAN Media, or WAN the WAN Show, excuse me, the one that released for August 12th. They were talking about that specific thing where Netflix basically has a subscription base of 200 million or something like that.
Yeah.
But only like 1 million of the users are actively using the gaming portion of the app, right? Which apparently is good, but it's just not good enough.
The problem is that they release those apps, and then there is a good number of those games that also just release straight to the App Store.
Yeah. So I will say this in terms of Warner Brothers. If Warner Brothers Discovery redoes the app, right, they do a legacy portion, and then they just start doing a bunch of stuff with DC and, making it better, the worst thing that they could do, in my opinion, is raise that price up.
Can you look up the picture of the studios in the investor call? Because it had a couple of studios.
So, but if they raise that price up,
because it wasn't just DC that was like their big hitters.
Here's what I'm going to say, okay? They can't raise the price up.
for
HBO or whatever the service is going to be. They can't.
No.
They have to keep it at that $15 price
it's
because
a sweet spot.
huh?
It's a sweet spot.
It's a sweet spot. Netflix right now is $20. If Microsoft does buy Netflix and they say here it is on this in the subscription service that we already have, every other streaming service is basically dead. Or not dead, but it'll be hurt.
I mean, even if they were to go, oh yeah, it's $20. Even if they were to keep it at the same thing, you're gaining so much more with Xbox Plus.
Exactly.
Because with Xbox Game Pass. Because if you were to go, oh yeah, Microsoft bought Netflix, now you have an entire streaming library of all of these movies that are at your disposal. Plus also you get all of this gaming library. Plus you also have Xbox Live. Plus you also have all these benefits from these free games that come with Game Pass.
You're already getting EA Plays, you're getting Activision, they've just bought the studio, everything like that. They're going to kill that market because Disney is raising their prices from $7.99 to like $9.99 or something like that. So that's a price increase on there as well coming in December. It only makes sense that Warner Brothers Discovery doesn't match that and say like, we're going to keep it at that $15 and $12 tier, you know, for people that want to have that service. You still looking for the investor thing?
Right there.
So for studios, there's WB Animation, DC, New Line Cinema, and then Warner WAG.
Warner Brothers.
It's Warner.
WAG is Warner Animation something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for networks, they have HGTV, TLC, Food Network, CNN, TNT, TBS, OWN, Discovery, Magnolia Network, Eurosports, and TVN.
Bro, are you telling me that on HBO Max now I can watch all of Law and Order? Dude, yes.
And then what are the
what is it? The DTC?
It's like
I'm
streaming.
assuming those are their streaming services because that's
okay.
Disney Plus, Disney Max, which are HBO Max, and then HBO itself.
Okay.
Warner Brothers, or it's Discovery, HBO Max, and HBO.
Yeah.
Which is stupid that HBO is still an app on its own.
Well, no, it's also a cable service.
Oh yeah.
You could still buy HBO as a cable service.
But then I've never understood that. It's like you can still just get HBO Max and get the same benefits as HBO. Right?
What if I don't have internet?
Okay.
And what if
I'm sorry, sucks, but you're in the 21st century.
Wait, so
some people can't afford that, dude.
Anyone that listens to us has internet.
That's true.
Yeah, at most they have cell service.
Someone who has no internet access is listening to us, and they're going like, "Those assholes." They don't even consider me.
Insensitive.
Yeah. How do you know they don't go to the library and get Wi-Fi?
Just to listen to us
and download it.
Thank you.
No, it's not hard to get a cell phone now. You can literally go and ask the government for a cell phone.
And they give you unlimited data.
Yeah.
You jack.
You just got to make sure you use the phone. Like homeless people have cell phones now.
It's called an Obama phone.
Anything else before we finish up this topic and move on to She-Hulk?
No, I'm good. Actually. Well, I think the only thing I ask is like keep the Pattinson franchise alive still, which I'm assuming they will.
No, that's a green light already.
Yeah,
no,
but
it's not green lit.
Well, it's not green lit, but they're not going to touch it. Why would it? Why
that
would
made so much money?
Okay,
Yeah,
can
it
you
made
knock
far
on
too
wood?
much money.
Knock on wood.
I want to see Mr. Freeze in the next one. Did you see it? Someone did a fan casting.
Yeah.
No, let me see it.
No, it was what's his name? The guy that played Gus in Breaking Bad.
Gustavo.
Yeah.
What's his name? That would as Mr. Oh my God!
Make this happen. They'd cancel it tomorrow.
Dude, doing it Heart of Ice with him.
Yeah. You picture it?
I'm sorry, Batman. My heart has been frozen. Oh my God! Yes, dude, that would be so dope. Oh my God!
Alrighty.
Especially with like the Hispanic accent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Did you play Far Cry 4?
No.
The latest Far Cry?
Is it good?
Dude, he's a great...
Far Cry 4, Far Cry 6.
Or Far Cry... Whatever. Far Cry 6.
They're all the same.
Listen, that was the last time Far Cry was good.
Yeah.
It's
like Call of Duty at this point. They're all the same game.
Honestly, he's not wrong.
Sure.
He's not wrong. But in Far Cry 6, he plays the dictator.
Yeah.
The game is okay.
You mean Giancarlo?
Giancarlo Esposito. He plays the villain.
Yeah.
In 6. Mm-hmm. The game is okay. Him as a dictator and as the main villain, dope.
Yeah, I know. He's
so much fun.
I mean, he was in The Mandalorian.
He's so good. Like he can
You have
do no
something
wrong.
that I
He's
want.
also in The Boys.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you forgot. I knew it.
I
Because you were
did.
like, he's in the Mandalorian. I'm like, dude, he's in everything. Anything good, he's in.
Yeah, you need like a silent but very affirmative villain. You call him like.
Also, he looked like when you actually look at him, he's a very fragile man. Like he's not very like bulk. He's not anything else. His voice is so intimidating.
Give him a cryo suit.
Oh
That'd
my
be pretty
god,
dope.
dude, he's
Yeah,
so
that's
dude.
it.
Yeah, dude, give him like that big cryo suit and everything else. Oh my god, yes, I'm in. I'm so in.
He's
Yes,
like,
that's
do it. He's like,
do it. Yes.
Here's the one thing I have a fear of, that at this
Give me
podcast,
give me
this show
Spanish.
is going to be DC news and She-Hulk watch for the next like 6 weeks,
Spanish,
9.
Mr.
I think
Freeze.
She-Hulk has 9 episodes.
9 weeks. Well, are we going to do She-Hulk watch?
Probably
Should we do
not.
it?
You'll say stop at some point.
Yeah, at some point you're like, oh, it's the same thing.
You did it for Miss Marvel.
That's what you did. Yeah, and you were excited
Because
for that
I
one.
was,
Yeah.
but it felt like Miss Marvel. We can wait a couple episodes before we watch it. It wasn't as like intensive as like something like The
To be
Boys.
fair, yeah, it's like we had The Boys that
I think She-Hulk will probably
Here-
fall along that.
here's
kind of, like,
my thing,
pattern.
though,
Lord of
is
the
that
Rings. Oh no,
so-
we're not going to do Lord of the Rings, right?
Like I said, I've never seen any of the Lord of the Ring movies the whole way through.
Okay, so we have to. I mean, technically, you don't need to.
It's a prequel.
It's a prequel.
I have to literally sit.
Oh,
and-
then House of Dragons. Damn it.
House of Dragons comes out on Sunday.
Sunday.
That
That's right.
sucks. I've never seen Game of Thrones either.
Okay,
It's a
well,
prequel
we're-
too.
yeah,
so
well-
it's like
Who
We'll do it.
flipping
I
cares?
guess we'll do like a Zoom call. I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I don't know.
I think okay. To be fair, we have to at least review the first episode.
That's fine. You guys
Yeah.
can talk about it and convince me to watch it. And if I give a crap about it,
boobs.
it's not enough.
Usually that works.
Doggy style.
Usually that works.
Boobies.
That's the most intimate of sex. The doggy style.
So,
Speaking of doggy styles,
Oh my god.
She-Hulk. This is why we'll
rear
never work with Disney.
No.
They will never work with us.
Dude, they hired Taika Waititi. He made a Hitler movie.
That's true.
I think we're fine.
Disney picks us up.
He was also in our. Wait, what is it? The pirate show. What was it?
Oh.
Our flag means death.
Our flag means death.
So here's what's gonna happen. Disney picks us up. Kathleen Kennedy comes out. Is like, these guys were talking crap about me, right? And Disney goes like, yeah, you know what? We're gonna have to terminate your guys' contract.
It's okay.
Ooh.
It's okay. That's why you write player pay. Doesn't matter. If I get hired, I get 1.2. Whether the movie gets made or not, I'm a Tim Burton it.
I'm a Tim Burton.
it.
I'm still gonna get paid.
I'm getting that money. I'm getting that Disney money no matter what.
Disney money.
So She-Hulk
Better
comes
have a mouse
out.
on it.
Huh?
Better have a mouse on it.
What are you talking?
Like the bands around the money.
Oh my
I want it to
God,
have
dude,
like,
I
little
saw-
Mickey Mouses.
Little Mickey Mouse.
I want it to still be real money.
So-
I don't want it to be Mickey dollars or
These are only
Disney bucks.
good-
These are
Go
Disney
to
bugs.
any Disneyland park.
But you gotta pay for your own ticket.
Instead of Benjamin Franklin. Instead of Benjamin Franklin, it's Goofy.
I think
What?
if I was working for Disney, I would be like, no, just get me in for Disneyland for free.
That's
Anything
literally.
yeah.
Did you see the new passes? The
Yeah.
price?
I
Yeah.
bought one.
What tier did you get?
Inspire.
The $1,600 one?
The top?
Yeah, I got the top one.
What?
Did you do the yearly on that, or did you do the monthly?
I did the monthly.
Oh,
Jesus
God.
Christ.
That's like $130 a month.
Yeah.
I work.
I do well.
I'm
Yeah.
fine.
I work.
Jesus, man. That's a lot of money. Okay, can we move on
Okay,
to
sorry.
She-Hulk?
You
please?
brought up the Disney pass.
I did. I didn't expect you to be like, yeah, I bought it.
I bought it.
I'm just gonna throw
You know
my
what?
money.
You know what?
Do you want dreams, hopes, and happiness? Here you go.
You know what the sad part is? I technically already
What?
paid for my Believe pass. So right now I have 2 passes.
Oh gosh.
So I was going to say, Renee, you want to come to Disneyland with me?
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Because,
Let me know.
he looks more like me.
I can pass as Nick.
What do you mean? You're not gonna take him like that. You can't do that. You know?
You got twitch in your eye?
Yeah.
Dude, they're not going to know.
They'll never know.
They'll never find out.
No.
She-Hulk!
No. She-Hulk.
Please. We got 20 minutes.
Seriously.
We got 20 minutes.
Only She-Hulk.
Honestly, this episode was 30 minutes long. Felt really short.
Yeah.
It was an origin story.
I liked this as a first episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's fine.
I liked. They
Oh, no,
gave
no.
us,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Before you go on, can we talk about She-Hulk in a very negative way for one of our listeners?
Sure.
No.
How dare it have a woman in it?
How-
Jesus.
Yeah.
How dare it?
How dare?
How dare we have a show about a woman?
dare you
Yeah.
pander
Yeah.
to that audience?
How dare you
it
make
is
equal?
wrong. It is dumb.
Yeah, Hulk is only a man. There's no she. He's a he. He's he Hulk.
How dare you put equality in my Hulk show? Like,
How dare you make it make sense that she has to deal with anger?
pandering.
First, Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Now She-Hulk.
Yeah.
What is this garbage?
What is this
Exactly.
hot-
Oh my
hot
god,
garbage?
this is
Yeah.
dumb.
And she
How-
breaks the fourth wall. No, Deadpool's for doing this
no.
really quick thing. She-Hulk's been doing it since 1989. Deadpool's been doing it since 1999.
And get
And
back
how-
into character.
Yeah.
And
Now
how,
get back into character. She-Hulk was dumb.
and how,
She-Hulk's dumb.
how dare they show the inspiring thing of women helping women?
Oh,
it was gross.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
God dang
Oh.
it, man. And scene. All right,
Those
She-Hulk.
bastards.
It's over. We're done.
Oh, I was talking about you guys.
No, She-Hulk was. I thoroughly liked this episode. It gave us one of the greatest questions we never thought we wanted to know.
Do we really want to get that right now? Do you want to you want to talk about it?
It's funny.
It's
It's
funny.
the main thing on social media
Yeah,
right now.
right now
Like,
it's-
it's
Yeah.
like finding out if Captain America is a virgin or not.
What?
Which
Talking about
apparently-
sex
which-
in the show?
Which apparently it's not. So the show is just going to be about her finding out who Captain America had sex with, right?
Yeah.
Like
So
you can't have that.
That's a true case.
You can't have that as the end credit scene and then go, yeah, but we're never going to talk about this again. No. That's the show. That's what's going to. It's a paternity test. That's what's about. Somebody coming after Captain America.
So what's interesting, we talked about this before we started recording, right?
Yes.
It is a fan theory that most people knew that Captain America didn't have sex, right?
Didn't
That-
have relations.
Didn't have, yeah.
Well, because it was never on scene.
It was never on
camera.
scene
Which
because
again, I don't understand why people need to be told so. Because I've had customers that tell me like, "Oh yeah, I didn't know that Tony and Bruce were that close."
they're both scientists.
They were both scientists. And
The
they were,
end of Age of Ultron, he drives away with Bruce.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
And they worked
He's-
together on the Ultron program.
the thing.
Yeah,
Again-
they're both talking about it of like
I
we built
get-
a killer robot.
That's what upsets me about certain fans of the show or certain fans of Marvel
Okay,
that need to be
relax.
apparently they need to be shown stuff that we already know.
It's right here.
Yeah.
God, read a damn book for once.
Like I don't
pay
need
attention.
To be, like, I don't need to be shown that, but it was great to see.
But even in the Avengers, they
Like-
no, hold on. Even in there's
This is coming from a man that wants Kevin Feige out of the chair.
Yes.
Right?
no, but not. But
Or at least another person.
Stop.
I hate giving power to
Stop.
one
Listen,
person.
I will support you.
no, he's
To a point.
No, he's a goddamn patriot.
Yeah.
Dictators do not belong
Yes.
in America.
I don't
Captain
want-
America would not stand for this.
Yeah.
Him and his lady friend.
Him and his lover.
So,
No, but for going for the Bruce Banner thing and them showing that, there's a lot of different things that show that.
Mm-hmm.
There's the scene inside the Avengers where him and Banner are talking and they
Yeah.
get along.
Yeah.
In Age of Ultron, they go away with each other. They're working on the Ultron
Yeah.
project. Bruce Banner and is the one that Tony is confiding in at the end of Avengers 3. I mean, at the end of Iron Man 3, telling him about like his PTSD
Yeah.
and him like not needing the suits anymore because he's working at Stark Industry. Like, there's a lot of stuff that shows Tony and Bruce are amazing. Not only that, but also think about how he actually thought of the Hulk and also Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Because when he's putting in code names, he said, "Oh, Bruce Banner is the strongest Avenger. Like, he is the best. He is going to be the strongest. He's the strongest Avenger. Not anybody else." And he made fun of everybody else for their code names. Like, he called Thor Point Break
Yeah.
and everything else and all that. So there's a lot of different things.
Yeah.
It's cute because in She-Hulk in the bar scene,
That was cool.
it's written as TSBB, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's cute.
Yeah, they carved their names in. And I love the idea of that Tony had a broken heart because he even says like, "Oh yeah, like mostly I built it," and then Tony just kind of complained about Steve. The idea, and it was after, but the idea was that I can't believe Steve didn't help. I can't believe that he couldn't just sign the agreements and just go with the page. If he would have done that, we would have been ready for Thanos.
Yes.
We would have all been together.
Yeah.
If he would have just signed the paperwork, if he would have just fallen in line like he should have, we would have been ready for Thanos. People wouldn't have died.
Yeah.
That's why. And that's interesting. That is such an interesting thing of going like, oh man, like Tony felt heartbroken. He felt
But you
hurt.
saw that in Civil War. That was the thing, is that in Civil War, that fight between Tony, Steve, and Bucky, in that kind of like towards the end, it was a heartbreaking scene.
But even at the end of Endgame, because he says that we built this after Endgame.
Yeah.
So this would have been right after Tony and Steve have that argument.
Yeah.
Where he goes like, oh,
After Endgame or after Civil War?
or no, after it would have been right after Infinity War.
So
When-
after
right
the
when
snap.
he gets right after the snap, and then he's mad at Steve.
Wait, the bar was built after the snap?
Yes, because he said I spent 5 years in a gamma lab.
That's what he was doing. He was there.
That's what
the
I was
whole
doing.
time.
He was there the whole
That's
time.
how he
and-
became Smart Hulk.
And Tony was keeping him company, so he would check in on him.
I see. Okay.
So only Tony knew really where he was because Tony Stark built it. So while he was there, he was complaining about Steve. So he was going over the whole thing over and over and over again. But that's also how he found catharsis in it, because he did the same thing that he did about his PTSD, where he kept talking about it, and then Bruce eventually gave him the advice of like, you have to let it go. And that's why by the time you get to the 5-year gap where Steve Rogers comes back and apologizes to Tony Stark, Tony doesn't just try to shoot him.
Yeah.
He immediately goes like, oh yeah, come on in. It's great to see you. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in forever. And he has a catharsis to him. It adds so much to like Tony and also Steve's relationship. Just those little tiny lines.
So with that said, this series does seem to want to pay attention to a lot of things that have happened before, which is good. I will say there was a bit of an upsetting part for me in the sense that She-Hulk's origin was explained out of order for me, but I'm glad that it was explained well. Because the origin for this version of She-Hulk is that there's a car accident that happens.
Yeah.
Because one of a spaceship, I forget what.
It was
It's one of the Grand Masters.
Yeah.
So it comes down and it scares them. Car goes over the ledge. They get hurt. She's cut, and so is Bruce. And his blood goes into her blood, and she basically gets that gamma radiation, which turns into a She-Hulk, right?
Which you saw in the original Hulk movie with Edward Norton.
So
when
the
his
problem
blood fell into the drink.
So the problem I have with that is that if you didn't see the original Hulk, it kind of brings to question, at least for me, right, that why hasn't anyone tried to steal his blood in that case to make more Hulks?
But no, because
Hang
then
on.
you could also say that's the reason why he's been getting chased.
Exactly. Okay, so there you go, right? So there's different explanations, but it was done too quickly that it didn't allow for anything to be processed until she's taken to the island, where he says the reason why you turned into a Hulk was because your DNA can mix in with this gamma radiation and do something different, which turns you into a Hulk.
Me and you share that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great. That is fine. And
as
that
cousins,
is
it makes sense.
Exactly. And I'm like, okay, that's a good explanation because I was a little bit uncomfortable on how quickly they rushed into that origin. Now, I kind of want them to build on that aspect that she's able to control her, her turning and not.
Before you move on, is it also kind of weird that Banner just did a bunch of tests on her while she was unconscious? Because he had like
He had, like,
three
tubes of
vials. He had
blood,
like 3 vials of blood.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like he had so much blood. And he had X-rays, CAT scans,
Everything.
like, everything.
Did a full.
But
did a full workup.
Okay, yes, creepy, but also necessary because he didn't know. He didn't know how she was
a
going to react.
scientist.
No,
Yeah.
I get it, but also, how long was she unconscious?
Wasn't it days?
Yeah, it was a few days. Yeah.
Like she was in a coma.
Yeah,
Basically.
Holy hell!
but that's why
The first transformation takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a good story so far.
Yeah.
I think that it has the potential of going into a good direction. I don't want this to be a main series like Miss Marvel or like Moon Knight to have this long story that overlaps, the 9 episodes.
They set up a plot point where it was when the ship was confronting them. If you don't remember, in Thor Ragnarok, they were in the same ship. It doesn't have any weapons. It doesn't have any sort of...
For which one?
For Ragnarok, when they were taking the Grandmaster's ship, That's the same ship that was in She-Hulk. The same type, not the same ship exactly. It's the same model.
No, but he, what was it? He even says, no, it's a messenger ship.
Yeah,
they were sending us a message.
And he even said that, like, oh, I'll have to find that out later.
Which is fine. Yeah. Make that the overarching idea.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want it to be the main one. If it's a background, like a B plot, fine. Because what I want this show to do is to focus on mini stories of her being the attorney for superheroes. If it doesn't, okay.
I think,
but I would like it to be.
No, because what was it? The law firm that she's fighting is going to hire her. This is a trap to see her go there. Because Glitterstar, I'm already calling it right now, was told to go there. Because you see her consistently throughout the series. So she is not arrested.
No.
She's not put away in, what is it? It's
Rikers?
Rikers or whatever. What was the sinkable one?
Oh, the one that Tony created?
Yeah, it was like the boat or something like that, or Tartarus or something, whatever it is. But the thing is, she is not going anywhere. So she is hired by this law firm to bring out Jessica Walters, to kind of say she is the Hulk. This is her Hulk abilities. And so that way they can then hire her on to head up their new superhuman department.
Okay.
And then that's where she kind of, because if you've seen the trailer, you can see her working with the same dude that was on the opposite side.
Yeah.
And he's walking her through and he's showing her all these other things. And in the comic books, she does join up with a law firm to head up their super mutant department.
Gotcha.
Or their super powered department.
Which
would also lead into Daredevil.
Is Daredevil rumored to be in this?
No, he's not rumored. He's been shown.
He's been shown in it.
Yeah, he's been shown in trailers. He has the gold. He has the red and gold.
That's right. That's right.
The red and gold suit.
You're right.
So I had a friend that went to the premiere, and she was telling me that in episode 4, that there's a cameo that wasn't shown, that wasn't advertised, and wasn't rumored.
Tom Holland.
She was amazed of how they put in that cameo.
Tom Holland.
In episode 4.
Tom Holland.
I can't say.
You know what?
Okay, after the show.
No, I don't know. She didn't tell me. She couldn't tell me, but she says there's a cameo in
it's
episode
Tom Holland
4.
Spider-Man.
I don't know.
Okay, look, just look at my eyes. No, look at me. You know.
It's not.
Okay, it's not.
It's Vincent D'Onofrio. Because you have Echo coming up.
Ah, that's true. That's true.
It's Tom Holland Spider-Man.
You have Echo coming up really soon.
Hey, listen. Tom Holland
And Echo
Spider-Man
needs a
shows
reason
up
to have
in
a show.
episode 4. I'm done.
What is Echo's reason for having a show?
Okay,
if she already shot
Spider-Man.
Vincent D'Onofrio in the
face.
face.
It's Spider-Man. Okay, fine. It's not Spider-Man.
It's not Spider-Man.
Wink.
Spider-Man's episode 6.
He's in the finale.
Yeah, man. He's got 6 legs. Spider-Man.
I might yell. And it might wake up some neighbors.
Wait, spiders have 8. Never mind. No, it's episode 8. My bad.
Good job, Nick.
I know how many legs spiders have.
But I thoroughly liked the episode. It was really good. I like the character of Jen. She's very likable.
So talk about her character here. Relation towards the comics, because right now I see a lot of people mentioning the fact that she breaks the fourth wall and they don't like that. But she's been doing that in the comic books. She's been doing that for quite a while, and not just that. Yeah. She-Hulk has always, and it's interesting because I feel like, because even Andy was like this, where he's like, oh, she's a superhero, right? It's like, not really, because she doesn't fight as much as she is an attorney.
So
she's more, but that's what they even say in the very beginning.
Yeah.
This is not a superhero show. This is a law show with superheroes in it.
Yeah.
Which usually that's how Marvel does well. That's how they did it with Ant-Man. It was a heist movie with superheroes.
Yeah.
You know?
Any superhero movie will do great if it is another type of movie and we just sprinkled superheroes. The
best Marvel movie of all time, Winter Soldier.
The spy movie.
Spy movie with superheroes. That's the thing.
Someone in the background was like, Winter Soldier's not that good. Shut up.
Well, look at The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is a heist movie slashed with like a little bit
of...
It's
like a crime drama.
Yeah, it's a crime drama. It's Heat with superheroes.
Yeah.
All right, done talking about
Can you
Dark
imagine
Knight?
Robert De Niro in a DC movie? He's like Gordon. He's Gordon. You know what, Batman? You know what? You're doing good.
That would be so funny. Have him as Commissioner Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon.
Turn it on the light.
I turned on the bat sign.
You know what? You know what? The Joker.
The Joker. I don't like him.
I don't like
him.
Not
at all.
I looked at the Joker and I was like,
When you're doing that, it reminds me of the Harley Quinn, Commissioner Gordon.
Oh,
Yeah, because he's kind of like that.
Yeah, he's kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, not kind of.
He is.
Like there's a scene in the newer episode where Two-Face does something, and then he was just like, Two-Face, how could you do this? And he's like,
It's in my name.
it's in my name. Literally, it's my one thing. I'm Two-Face. I'm going to betray you.
Watch Harley Quinn.
Watch Harley Quinn.
Watch it. It's good.
It's so funny.
It's really good.
And then like something. No, but it's so funny though because later on it happens again, and he's like, Two-Face, how could you betray them? And he's like, really? I feel like you're messing with me. I'm feeling like you're messing with me. I already told you.
So to wrap up She-Hulk,
Yeah.
it's a good show so far. The
Yes.
first episode is very interesting.
Yeah.
I liked it.
And I do love the dynamic between Bruce and Jen.
Yeah.
Because
It's very competitive.
it's very
It's,
competitive.
it's like siblings. Almost.
It
It's
is.
very brother
They're
and
close
sister.
cousins,
Yeah.
which is really cool because it just brings about that kind of like family chemistry.
Yeah.
And even they go like, "Oh, I'll see you at the next family dinner." All right,
Well,
see you
I
then.
thought it was-
They have
I thought-
nicknames for each
I
other.
thought it was interesting too because they talked about it and they did say that this is after Shang-Chi.
Yes.
So this is after Shang-Chi. So this also explains why he's in human form in the end of Shang-Chi, because he says he has the inhibitor because it's helping him heal his arm
Yeah.
after the Infinity
and
Gauntlet.
it does get healed.
No, so he said it was healing, but it was healing very slow.
But it's
With
healed
the
now,
inhibitor.
isn't it?
yes.
He
Because
was
of
then
Jen's blood.
Because then he was saying your blood metabolizes gamma radiation at a faster rate. So
Better.
there's no faster. So basically, he was able to create a serum with her blood to make his arm heal completely and speed up the gamma healing. And that's how you get to that point. So now we have a completed Hulk, like an actual smart Hulk.
Now, the last point that we should probably talk about before we wrap up this issue.
Which is also interesting too, because at the end of Shang-Chi, you can actually look at his arm. He's wearing the inhibitor.
That's
Yeah,
right.
he
Yeah,
is.
that is right.
He's wearing the inhibitor. So that means
Continuity.
throw it all the way back to Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
This has been the plan.
Yeah.
That's
This has
interesting.
been
That's
the idea.
insane. Yeah, that's the idea of how Hulk becomes, like, how do we fix his arm after Infinity War with the gauntlet?
So the last point we should probably talk about is the CGI in this show. Is it as bad as people say it is?
It's significantly better than I thought.
It's decent.
Listen, when you think about it, all the scenes that they did were basically just scenery.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a
I
lot of
will
just them
say-
getting a lot of B-roll with them in pajamas with dots on it, and that was pretty much
I will say that you can tell that they were really trying to not work with two CGI characters
so hard.
because there were moments where like she should be in Hulk form and she's not.
And
she's in human
it's
form.
Jen, yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see that.
Or the fact that they were like, oh yeah, she should be in Hulk form, but we're gonna make her Jen, and we're just gonna leave him inside of his regular form because they're like, well, why don't you just use the inhibitor and then he's fine? It's like, no,
As a prototype.
it's the prototype. Yeah,
So the only complaint I have about the CGI is that when She-Hulk is talking, she does have a little bit of a dead face. There's not much emotion. It's fine. Here's my excuse, and I get it. It's just an excuse, but it is a TV show. It is on a streaming platform. I don't think they're going to invest as much time and effort like they would in a movie like
but not
Infinity
only,
War or
but
Endgame. Or
the thing, but the thing is that even if you were to say that, when you look at the actress who's playing Jessica Walters, she has that deadpan a lot. She where she kind of has that emotionless face
but it's
and says a joke.
It's
There's
one
a
thing to
lot
be
of that.
emotionless, and it's another for like if I'm talking to Renee, for example, but I'm looking like right over here, and I'm like, yeah, I'm totally talking to Renee. That's what's the problem with it.
No, but
It's-
but eye lines have been fine.
there's a little bit of a mix. There's a little like if you really look at it, you
So-
can tell there's bits of a mistake.
so basically, most people wouldn't notice.
No, most people will
Only
notice
your
just
anal-
no.
only your
most
anal
people
retentive
will
butt
notice
would.
to complain about this show. That's what I'm saying.
I thought they were complaining about the fact that there's a woman.
Do we go back to that?
I mean, there's a complaint that I've seen around TikTok and social media is that
It's TikTok. No one cares.
how Jennifer Walters is it Waters?
Yeah.
Walters is more in tune with her Hulk ability when really it's because the reason why Bruce has a dual personality is because he was suffering trauma from an abusive father that he had, which is why he has a split personality. It's an alter.
It's an alter ego.
Yeah. Whereas Jen doesn't have that.
Yeah,
Jen actually had a solid.
It's been said that because she's a woman, she can deal with her anger in a much better way. She's always upfront with her anger. She always carries it with her, as a person. So that's why when she's Hulk, she's still her.
Yeah.
But you also have to think of the Hulk as split personalities. Of Hulk is the protector. Of weak Banner, Hulk is the strong one. He's the protector. He's the one that always comes out to protect weak Banner.
Yeah.
Jessica Walters never thinks of herself as weak. She never thinks of herself as, I can't defend myself. I can't stand up there and do this. And they show that in the very first scene of going like, oh yeah, like you don't let me protect you. You're not going to do that great in this opening. Let me do it. It's going to sound a lot better from a man coming up there.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, you can get out of my office right now. And she's able to stand up for herself. You see that in the very first shots of this show that she is not a woman that needs protecting.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why she doesn't have an alter. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. And it makes total sense when she even says, I get catcalled all the time. I get all these other things. And if I do let my anger out, I get called crazy. I get called a psychopath. She can get called a lot worse things.
Yeah.
And especially when she goes, or I can just get murdered in general, just because I gave somebody the wrong, kind of attitude. Or anything else. It's a real problem that women do have to go through, and it's terrible.
So that could be called pandering, but here's the thing. Here's the difference. All right, it isn't pandering in the sense that most people think it is, where it's like just thrown out in the open in terms of it being like, oh, well, it's only there to appease a certain demographic. No, the thing is that this version of the character is developed pretty damn well, and she has a good story. When you look at the details behind Bruce Banner Hulk, right? You even, because you said it, right? Because he had an abusive father, and he was like, he just didn't grow up well, and all these different things. What movie was it where Black Widow goes on the hunt for Bruce, and he's hiding in a little like shed or something, and
that's in Avengers.
First Avengers.
Is that in the first Avengers? Okay. Do you remember the speech that he was giving her, saying like, I've tried to kill myself, but every time I'd like,
I try to put a bullet in my mouth and the other guy spit it out.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's tried to do that. He's fighting those two egos, right? And that story has developed over a long period of time, over 10 years essentially worth of movies, right?
Once again, the protector.
Exactly. Yeah. This one, we can establish her characteristics within 30 minutes, and it's understood because she's already set up as a personality. She's already set up as a character. She's she's going to be a successful lawyer, basically understanding what she wants to do, and she has that strong mentality that she doesn't take crap from anyone. Yeah. With that said, her newfound abilities as a Hulk are only amplified because of that, and that's perfectly fine. It's a good way of establishing a message and putting it out into the audiences, saying like, this is something that women go through. We can't speak in regards to that as well as most other people because, we're not women, but we understand the message.
But that's the thing though, is that if you're a guy that's watching it, you're probably going like, whatever, they don't.
It's pandering.
It's a lot of pandering because they're going through all this. Why don't you ask your sister or ask your aunt or ask something like
ask a woman close to you.
Yeah, like ask a woman that's close to you. Hey, is this something that you have happened to you a lot? Because I heard that is something that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Is that a common thing?
That happens with Mandy a lot.
Yeah, but that's
when she works and she goes home or even takes an Uber home. Like she'll get flirted with and stuff like that.
I know, I know, and I know a bunch of friends of mine who they're waitresses or they're dancers or anything like that, and men can be dicks. We can definitely be jerks.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that cross that line, especially towards waitresses or towards people that they feel are just there to serve them.
Yeah.
So definitely, before you say a lot of the people who may have your objections to this, ask a woman that you're close to or somebody that may have had this happen or anything like that. Get their answer for it before you start saying it's pandering to a specific person, because in reality, is it pandering or is it just telling an ugly truth that you don't want to hear?
Yeah,
it's the second one.
And with that said, give the show a watch before you make any statements, because from our perspective, the first episode was really good.
It's a solid
A
episode.
lot of reviewers have already had access to a couple other episodes, and they're making solid reviews out of it.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Granted, it is like Jen and Green Spot who are talking about it, and they're kind of whatever.
The
But
funny thing is that you're doing
doing
that
so well.
and you're inaudible of what you were saying.
No one heard anything.
No, because I couldn't hear what you were saying. And I'm,
It's IGN. Green Spot. They're the ones that are doing the reviews.
What
so.
did?
well, because
What
they're
did they give it so far?
I think they gave it like an 8 or a 9,
that's not a bad review.
That's not a bad review.
but it's IGN.
So even when they give it bad review, so wait, hold on, wait. So we not
I'm
trust
just
them when they
saying
give it good
no,
reviews or
I'm
bad
just
reviews?
I'm just saying. All right.
Listen, you
that
got to be consistent.
I am
'cause-
consistent.
I'm consistent.
You're
It's a
going
good.
like,
Okay, fine. You know what? From our review, it's a good at first
Yeah, I
episode.
love it.
So
I
we're
love
gonna
it. I
wait
love
for
it.
the second
I
one.
love the show.
We're excited for it. Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Can we
Close
wrap up issue 111?
Yes.
Excellent.
close out.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this issue of Keeping Up with the Nerds. Like I said before, if you are watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and like the video. Let us know what you guys' thoughts are on any pieces of news, being any portion of comic strips, the DC updates, or She-Hulk. Let us know in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. 120 subscribers.
I know we gained. We're gaining.
We were gaining, which awesome. Also on this YouTube channel, you guys will be finding the live versions of Our Real Addictions releasing Thursdays at 11. Adam has been doing a good job of uploading
It's
them.
not- yeah, he didn't. I noticed that.
Yeah, so good on him. Good. So it's a lot of good stuff. They just released the podcast where they talked about the top 5 Steven Spielberg films that they, have liked. I haven't listened to it yet, but if they say something dumb about Jaws, we probably won't be seeing them anytime soon.
No, he only talk bad about Jaws 3D.
All right, fine.
Yeah, that's true.
If you guys are listening to us or want to listen to us on an audio platform because you guys are driving or working out, whatever, you guys want to listen to us, head on over to any audio platform like Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Listen to us there. Follow us on Podbean and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, letting us know what you guys think about the show. Check out our website at keepingupwiththenerds.com. Timers, articles, any videos we release will be updated on there, as well as a little bio about all of us and what we do. Just a little bit of some stuff that you guys can find, about Keeping Up with the Nerds. Follow our socials as well: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
If you want to subscribe, click on Brian's glasses.
I'm not doing that. I'm not.
No, you have to.
Just click on his chi-chis.
Stop.
Click on Rick's brain.
No. Are we done? Anything else I'm forgetting?
No, that's it.
No? Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Renee, take us out.
This has been Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 111. My name is Renee.
This is Brian.
And Nick.
Signing out from Under City Comics. We'll see you all next time.